Job was a guy who literally didn't know what was going to happen next. Seemed like every time at the beginning of the book that one of his servants came to tell him something, the news was worse and worse and worse. And Job's life was not only filled with deep anguish, but I'm sure it was filled with that feeling of uncertainty of what is going to happen next. And so he wrestles through this in these dialogues that he has with his friends. And then finally, toward the end of the book, God speaks to him. And it kind of causes Job to pull up short as he listens to God describe the things that God knows that Job doesn't know. And so then in the very last chapter, Job responds to the Lord, and he says this in chapter 42, verses 1 through 2. Then Job answered the Lord and said, I know that you can do all things, and that no purpose of yours can be thwarted. And I think the point that Job came to is a point that we can come to as well, that we can have certainty in the midst of very uncertain times, that God's purposes cannot be thwarted and that he can do anything. God's redemptive purposes for this world, for our families, for our lives, for our church, are going to come to pass. There will be times when we don't cooperate with those purposes, but God's purposes can't be stopped. So today I would encourage you to rest in the fact that we serve a God who can do anything and whose purposes will be accomplished despite any efforts by any being or any power to the contrary.